Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can be a member of the Shannons Club. Pace Farm, the enjoyable egg. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. And Gun Lake Quarries.
G'day, I bring you back to Bathurst, New South Wales, where a very cool cafe have their monthly coffee and cars. Now today, over 250 classics are expected to turn up, and you are going to see a bit of it in this week's Classic Restos on the road. Now when you hear of Keppel, perhaps your immediate thought could be an island getaway. But today, on the corner of George Street and Keppel Street, the Rockabilly Cafe are hosting Cars on Keppel.
This is Bathurst, famous for many things, but a main attraction, of course, is that little racetrack over there, Mount Panorama. I doubt there would be a motoring enthusiast anywhere that wouldn't enjoy the feel of this town. The Rockabilly Cafe is owned by Bathurst locals Steve and Tanya. They have been established here almost 3 years, and their cafe rocks. Classic vehicles of all types gather here, making the Rockabilly Cafe an automotive central hub. And these days, people just can't get enough of the old school cool. The cafe is well themed. It gives you an atmosphere. And as you know, classics and diners go hand in hand. This opportunity is to welcome anything with wheels. This is the Rockabilly Cafe, Bathurst, Cars on Keppel. Here we go, Cars on Keppel, Chevy Truck, patina look, out of the paddock. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. How's yourself, Fletch?
Good, mate. I love this.
It's a bit of a beast.
How long have you had it?
5 years.
And how did it look 5 years ago?
How it sits today. So if it's on a HQ chassis, running the 350 turbo 400.
Yeah. There you go. So you've done all the mechanicals, obviously, and kept the natural look of how you found it?
Yep, that's it. That's the way I wanted it, and just got the interior to go in it now. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't got much more to go.
I bet you get some looks.
Yeah, I do. We went to Peakill the other weekend and done a wedding, a wrap rod wedding for it. Yeah. And that, so.
And what sort of questions do people ask you?
Why do I leave it rusty?
When are you going to paint it, all that stuff?
Yeah. Or how did I get this colour? And I said, well, mate, that's the way I found it in the paddock, so.
Well, this bloke just doesn't know how to look after vehicles, something like that, you know?
Yeah, park it anywhere and leave it. If it gets a dent, it's more character to it.
I think that's a very cool thing, isn't it? Especially here out in the country, to find these trucks in the first place. To think that there were so many that were left in paddocks years ago, and you've done something about this. I just think that's awesome.
Yeah, well, we should get cheaper rego for recycling.
Okay, Tim, so the 350 up front, turbo 400, HQ chassis, it'd drive nice.
It does, yep. When you drive from Orange to Bathurst for the cars and Keppels and that, yeah, it's good.
I bet there'd be the odd motorist too that'd see you getting along the highway and think, geez, this old truck's going well.
Well, that's it, yeah. I drive it every day. It's my everyday driver at the moment, so.
Original back in its day, you know, the poor old girl probably would have been flat out at, 45 or 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, with the old six-cylinder in it.
Good on you, Tim. Now, this is a guy here that wasn't really up for an interview, but talked him into it. Thanks for being here. Cars on Keppel. And just before I do go, there's something about Bathurst, mate. Mount Panorama over there, the diner here, Rockabilly Cafe.
I just love coming down to the Rockabilly, you know. They've been great support and that. And there's a lot of different variety of cars here, which is good.
That's the thing too, and it's all about turning up. It doesn't matter what the car is. It's an open invitation to all types, bikes. A truck could turn up, doesn't matter, and yeah, I think that's the whole spirit of the whole occasion, isn't it?
It sure is, when you got different things like that rolling up the street, and it's just good to see all the car enthusiasts have been out and about.
Good on you, Tim. For a bloke that didn't want to do an interview, you did really well. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Fletch.
It's a vehicle like this where I just have to give the owner, Tim, some extra credit. It's a 1948 Chev Truck, and he literally built the thing out of bits and pieces. couple of things remain from the old days when this truck was brand new. The air cleaner sitting on top of the 4-barrel carby is the original from the 6-cylinder from back in the day. And a really cool feature on the inside is the original handbrake that is made into the gear stick. There's just something about a classic car with a P plate on it. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm all right, Fletch. How are you?
Great, mate, great. 1972 HQ Ute. This is gold. You're a lucky guy.
Thank you very much.
Okay, tell us the deal. Where did you get it from?
I got it around Oran Park about a year ago, and I saw it online. I'm like, oh, I have to get that one, and went to have a look, and I'm like, fell in love with it. So I'm like, that's coming home with me. And ever since then, I've been adding more money to it and making it look like a beautiful, beautiful car.
Again, I just think it's wonderful that a younger fellow like yourself has an interest in our older cars. There's not too many enthusiasts around that would say no to this 72 HQ. It's an original car, the original red interior. I know that you're going to know the name of that red.
It's Calypso Red.
There you go. How cool is that? Now, Ryan, the Ute obviously hasn't had a hard life. Do you know much about its history?
Well, not really. I know it's been a Sydney car. It does have its original book in the glove box where it was brought from.
We're talking a car here, an original car with original push-on hubcaps, yes, and the dress rings as well. This is just how they were. Beautiful cover over the back as well, the tonneau cover over the back there, and how nice it looks as well. I like your little enhancements, you know, the GTS wheel, 4-speed down there on the hump. You know, you've just added a couple of little Ryan additions just to make it yours.
Yes. I built all these things the way I wanted back in the day off the line, if I wanted a brand new. Yeah. So all the modifications and all the additions, that's how I wanted it back in 72.
Ryan, tell us, where do you go back with Holden in your family?
Oh, ever since my dad was about my age, he had a HQ Ute, and he's been showing me photos. I'm like, that's the model I have to get. I want to build it just like his. But my real passion came when I was about 12, when I did mechanics at school, and I stripped down and I rebuilt a Holden 6-cylinder, and I fired it up, and that just got me started. And I absolutely loved it. And now I've got this one here and my grandfather's Ute, which is a 1971 Holden 1-tonner, and loving both of them.
Mate, that's great, isn't it? To think you did your mechanics at school, and that's when the switch came on and something clicked there. So that's the mechanical side, but also the family legacy as well, where these cars go back with you as well. Look, you know what? In my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, Ryan, you are a Holden legend, and on behalf of that statement, I'd like to give you one of these Holden Legends caps. Thanks to Holden. There you go, Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you
you can wear that with pride because there's not many made.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My life is hot rods, designing them, building them, and racing them. If you're into rods or customs, you'll know what I mean. It's all about passion, purity, and soul.
Customs and hot rods like the SoCal Roadster is what we do.
And insurance for cars like ours is what Shannons do.
Rods, customs, and even your daily drive. Call Shannons on 134646.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
Like us.
How's this for cool? A 1955 Desoto. How you doing, Craig?
Yeah, good, thanks, Fletch. Yourself?
Good, mate. Good. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah, no dramas at all. It's great to be here.
Pretty cool car this. It's set up to go quick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cruiser. It's not as fast as it might be in a year or two, but at the moment, yeah, I just love driving it around, cruising.
Big wheels on back, some tub work going on there. Gee, it gives the car a big stance, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It looks great when she's low slung. I've admired this car. I've only had it for about 15 months or so, but I've admired it for a few years, and I finally got my hands on it.
Some cool lines. What a shape.
Yeah, it's nice and curvy. Looks great from the back. Big back end on it, and yeah. So, like I said, that low slung look always appealed. So,
Being a two-door car too just accentuates that long look, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's again it's registered as 6-seater as well, so you put your friends and fam in there and go for a cruise. So yeah, it's great stuff.
In the 50s, the incredible styles that went into the cars, and you can still see that although this has been customised, it's a thoroughbred when you look at the dashboard.
Oh, absolutely. There's from the outside, it looks very, very similar to how they were released. There's a few modifications that the builder made, Glenn Jenkins, back in the day, just really subtle stuff that you've got to look for, But he did a great job of it, and I'm lucky to have it.
A lovely feature also from the era, the stainless steel separating the two colours, and it's nice too, again being customised, that at least that has remained as well. I love the bright work down the side, the division bar, so to speak, separation of the two colours. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of cleaning. Then you get out the metal polish, and but it's a good way to spend an afternoon.
Well, mate, it screams tough. Big wheels, big tank in back. That really sets off the rear of the car when you have a look in there. That's sensational. Now, engine up front. What's going on there, and what have you got planned for down the track? So I think there might be something looming, right?
There is. So at the moment, it's a 318 out of a 96 Dodge Ram. It is a reasonably sedate engine. My plans at this point I've stripped the new engine down. I'm looking at a 543 cube stroker, which, look, this car needs 1,000 horsepower. It
just does.
Yeah, it's against the law not to have 1,000 horsepower in it. So that's the goal at the moment. That could be a year or two away. There's the folding stuff you need to do those sort of things.
It suits this car because of how much has been done to it. So there's no stopping now kind of thing. It's just the extent, I guess, of your imagination and how far you want to go with it now.
Yeah. My biggest concern about that is making the engine bay look as pretty as it does now with the new engine in there. And but yeah, I'll get some help on that and just make sure that it is as it should be.
Craig, have seen this car around a bit over the years. It's a Mopar Rumble car, Chrysler on the Murray car. It has been around, and look, here we are in Bathurst. So it's great to see these classics do the distance. And this it's no show queen. This car, it gets out, it gets driven. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, she sure does. It used to be nice and detailed underneath. Now it's got a few road scars and grime and everything like that. But I bought the car to drive it. So.
Every stone chip is a trophy.
Absolutely, yep. So. Yeah, but no, she gets driven, so we love driving it.
Good on you. All right, Craig, well done, mate. Cars on Keppel here in Bathurst. Great seeing you, Craig.
Thanks, Fletch.
Love the Desoto.
Thanks, mate. Have a great day.
Thank you. Moving on through, Cars on Keppel. Big thanks to Rockabilly Cafe. And as they say, an apple a day gathers no moss. How are you, Marty?
Good, Fletch.
Thank you for bringing along this sensational 1970 VG two-door Val here. Yes, it's a popular...
Sterling Moss Special.
A Sterling Moss Special. If only Sterling was around to see it now.
Yes.
Now, it's just a good thing I don't have a polished sponsor on the show. They'd either love me or hate me right now at this point. Tell us what's going on here with this.
Okay, so I've had it for a bit over a year now. I was actually at yoga and it went past on a trailer and I said to my daughter, I'm going to own that. And so I messaged the guy that had it on his trailer and said, can I come and have a look? And then I rang my husband, husband-to-be at the time. And I said...
He still married you after buying it. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And I said to him, don't be mad, but I want to go and look at another car. So went and had a look at it in the November that year and took it home. And 3 months later had it ready and took it to Chrysler's on the Murray.
How cool are you? This is great. This is great. The moss on it, it is just unbelievable. Okay, how did it get the moss? Where was this car? I'm dying to find out.
So it's been off the road. The last time it was registered was 83, and it was sitting in a paddock since then, until I rescued it.
Bless its heart, hey. Now, although there's moss on it, body-wise, pretty good structures, like floor pans and.
Yes, very clean. Surprisingly, we've had it up on the hoist, took everything out underneath, and renewed everything. So it's nice and safe.
Still running the original 245?
No, the motor that came with it didn't turn over, so I had a 265 out of my other VG that was sitting around, so we put that in it.
You know your Valiants, don't you?
I do love my Valiants.
Oh, that is so good. We also look around the car here, of course, with the moss in all of its glory. We have the exuberant interior, original as well. Look at that, hey?
Yes, very farm fresh.
Farm fresh.
Yes, has seen a bit of sun in there.
Now, Marty, I don't want to make this sound like a silly question, but do you have any plans for the car?
No, just drive it as is and clock up the kilometres.
Just get those mechanicals, well, have the mechanicals 100% and just enjoy, right?
That's it.
That's unreal. And look, it's good to see you here with your husband today, and your daughter looks the part as well. She must love cruising along in the old girl too.
She does. She's already told me which car she's having for a formal.
Marty, thank you so much for hanging around. I really appreciate it. We've had a great turn-up of cars here today. The Rockabilly Cafe does a wonderful job every month here, corner of Keppel Street, George Street in Bathurst. You guys do things really well out here.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for being part of today's show, Marty.
No worries, Fletch.
If you own a classic such as this, if only Burt Reynolds could be here now. It just has to be insured with Shannons. Why not pick up the phone and give Shannons a call for a quote and a chat on 134646. And keep in mind too that the Shannons Club awaits you. For more information, visit shannons.com.au. And no stranger to Classic Restos, Shannon's Regional Development Officer for this area, Stewart Jameson. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Were you missing me? So you had to come back to my hometown.
There you go.
I love when you're in town.
Well, isn't that lovely? And this is what all the Shannons people are like around Australia when you go and do these shows. Again, a good one here, Cars on Keppel, Stu.
Yeah, it's always good to see that many guys get their cars out of the shed and come down and enjoy each other's company and get to talk to each other. And I think this is something that all communities should have, where it's not a formal event. It's just a nice, simple cars and coffee, and you can have a talk, but we tend to get a nice big crowd here.
Absolutely. And when it revolves around a premises such as the Rockabilly Cafe, goes hand in hand with the hot rods, the classic cars, the bikes, the trucks, whatever turns up here, and that's really good. I think too that every country town that has these shows, there's always something special, but hey, Bathurst, home of Mount Panorama, it's pretty special here.
Yeah, it's always nice to see something that's got a connection to the mountain, but also seeing that it's a variety in town. We're not just all Group A big bangers. We're not all Falcons, we're not all Commodores. We do have nice rods in town. We do have nice classic cars and the nice modified cars as well. So it's something different.
And of course, Stu, it's the old story with Shannons as well. You get behind these events, help to make these things happen. This is brilliant. I don't think our fraternities have ever been stronger.
Yeah, it's one of those things that last time we were talking about how much I did up the Mount, but this is some of the smaller shows that I like to do of getting that community together. So we know what everybody's doing, who needs a hand with doing certain projects. And this is what all the small towns should be doing, of get together. Don't just hide them in the shed, get them out and share your passion. And that's what we're all about.
Good on you, Stu. We could talk for a long time. Thank you again for being here today and being a part of Cars on Keppel.
No, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks, mate.
Hi, my name's Rob. Over my left-hand shoulder is my 1928 Chevrolet Tourer, powered by a 454 cubic inch 7.3 litre big block Chevrolet. Behind that is a beefed up Turbo 400 automatic. The transmission system then travels through to a Jaguar independent rear end. The centre of the Jaguar rear end comes out of a S-type, a 1966 S, and to get the width that required to give it the looks, it has Mark 10 arms, which are a lot wider than an S-type. The wheels are a 10-inch wide wheel. The secret with the suspension, it rides so well on the aspect that it can be a 5 to a 5.5 inch up and down depending. And on top of that is 2 stainless steel wings. The top wing was modelled off a drag car, and then at the front we come up to a Mark 9 independent Jaguar rear end. A Mark 9 is a 59 model Jaguar which weighed in excess of 2 tonne, big, strong, no welding anywhere, and with the early English situation with the front end made very strong, originally torsion bar which had now been converted to an independent coilover shock, which the car itself can be adjusted up and down 2¼ inches and has 26 soft and hard rides. And the top arms have been slightly modified, but out of a high tensile steel, and then electroplated, and then went through the heat ovens, which is a big advantageous side, so you don't get any hydrogen embrittlement, which is a great asset. Originally the engine run a big Z33 Scuderian cam and 448mm Webers. On top of that sat a Offenhauser tunnel ram with intakes. But it was a little bit unstreetable, a bit too wild, so we reduced it back to a Crower cam, changed the Weber system to Hollies. But it is a very, very good streetable hot rod in every aspect. It runs a twin boosted brake system, good steering system, very nice on the highway, comfortable, safe, and a pleasure to drive. The Rockabilly Cafe, which has probably been open for nearly 2 years, and it's a wonderful thing for the town to introduce, to take people of all ages back to the late 50s, mid-50s and the 60s to the Rockabilly thing, which everybody's happy to see. And all ages turn up at our Rockabilly turnouts, which is run by Tanya and Steve Ingwerson. They do a top job. The meetings for the car things is to amalgamate and get people together, which is a good thing in our modern life because it's a busy life and sometimes people don't have time to do this. But once they go to the Rockabilly, boy, everybody relaxes, they smile, and all age brackets, they talk to one another, admire each other's car, and it is the last Sunday in each month. Everybody looks forward to it. And it's so nice to see this and the happiness in all age brackets, and it's a real privilege in the town. And thank Classic Restos for putting us on the map even more so.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I own Rockabilly Cafe in Bathurst. I first had the dream back when I started my chefing. It then became a reality back when I met my husband, because he's a doer, not a dreamer. So a little cafe came up for sale, and we had been to the latest Aero show here in Bathurst. And Rockabilly was the theme, and I love Rockabilly. I love Coke memorabilia, hence the cafe. Love all the old cars. So that's where we created Rockabilly Cafe. So we have Cars on Keppel every third Sunday of the month. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And the community here in Bathurst especially, being that it's a car enthused town. So yeah, we come together and there's anywhere between 20 to 150 cars per month, which is really great. They travel all the way from Sydney, Canberra, local. My local community is amazing. They fully support me, 110%. Times have been tough, but we've got through it. We keep swimming, and today has been amazing. We've had over 70 cars today. We love what we do, absolutely love. I'm very passionate about it. We have a huge range of different items here. Our most popular item would be our milkshakes, hence stick shakes, 50 style. Just to give you an idea, in one weekend we can go up to 240 litres of ice cream over a Saturday and Sunday, which is humongous. We have 23 flavours of milkshakes on the menu with a special one each week. So it's great. Everyone talks about our milkshakes, thick shakes here in Bathurst and in the Central West. So it's exciting. But we also have hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken burgers, old-fashioned sundaes, banana splits. We do it all. If you walk through the door, you walk back in time, and that's what we're all about. We hope to see you all soon here at Rockabilly Cafe in Bathurst. Great if you want to come to the Central West. So we look forward to seeing you and everyone else through the door. Rock on down to Rockabilly Cafe Bathurst. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was Rockabilly Cafe, and this was Cars on Keppel. I hope you have really enjoyed the show. Until next week, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching.
You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, where you can be a member of the Shannons Club, Pace Farm the Enjoyable Egg, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Gun Lake Quarries.